Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Joining us right now on the phones, the Director of Strategic Communications for the Trump 2020 campaign, our good friend of the program, Marc Lauder. Marc, welcome back to the show. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Chad. How are you?
Doing great. It's well, there's always something to talk to you about. That's for sure. There's always something to talk. Let's talk about the good news. We'll get that out of the way first. Big numbers coming in yesterday for the Trump campaign and for the GOP as far as fundraising goes.
Record-breaking. No surprise there. $125 million in the quarter, which is unprecedented. And when you compare it to what the Democrats and that socialist clown car of a field they've got, I mean, it just dwarfs them. And it just shows you not only, the strength of this president across the board, across America, and as they continue to go down these hoaxes with witch hunts and things, he just gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
Well, and Marc, if I'm correct on this, the fundraising haul that was brought in this time, if you compare it to former President Obama's fundraising haul back, when his reelection came up, if you compare quarter to quarter, just Trump blows them out of the water.
Just absolutely obliterates the amount of money that Obama raised in the same quarter in 2011, so in the same part of his reelection cycle. Yeah. And again, I think it just shows you the strength of this president. I mean, we have small dollar donors, obviously. You have your larger contributors, but you've got new people coming in, tens of thousands of new voters and new people coming in to donate to show their support for this president, and it's just helping to put the ground game in place, to put the investments in place now that is going to take him across the finish line in November of next year.
Well, and Marc, this certainly, in my opinion, it contradicts what the popular media narrative is, which is people are sick and tired of this president. That's what the media wants to get across. That's what the Democrats want to get across. And whenever you look at the fundraising totals, it shows the enthusiasm, like you've been saying, is still there, and it's growing.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, and we see it, time and time again, that the American people can see what the Democrats are doing, and whether it's the switch hunt, they know they can't beat him. They know they can't compete with the unbelievable, not only financial success, but the organization that's being built with the data that we have. It's just not going to be possible. You even had one of their Democrats saying, if we don't impeach him, he will be reelected. That's what this is all about, and then I think this just reinforces it when you show these record-shattering numbers. The number of people that come up and that are telling me when I travel the country about how much they support this president, it is so strong, they are so loyal, and he's attracting more people into the fold because people look at the other side, they see what these crazy candidates are proposing on their end, on the Democrat side. Like, I can't be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm visiting with Marc Lauder here on the Chad Hasty Show. Marc, it seems as though Republicans are standing united behind this president. The Democrats last week, they decided that they're going to go down this road. I think it was a bad idea on their part, but I think Pelosi felt the pressure from her side that she had to go along with this impeachment inquiry into the president. What do people need to know? What do the voters out there need to know about this impeachment inquiry?
Well, I think the first thing you ought to know is that they made the decision before they even had the facts. I mean, they made that decision and announced their decision before the transcript of that call was released. And remember what they told us it was going to be. They told us it was going to be quid pro quo. They told us there was going to be pressure on Ukraine. They told us that the president mentioned Joe Biden 8 times. None of those things were true. And they ended up with egg all over their face, but they are going to march down this cliff. They're going to march down this path, take their party over to the edge because they are so consumed with Trump derangement syndrome. The facts are not there. The Ukrainian president said that he felt no pressure. I mean, again, they are just so consumed. They don't know how to beat him. They know that the results he's getting for the American people are going to have him reelected in a landslide, and this is the only way they've thought about trying to be able to beat him.
Marc, I had Senator Cornyn on yesterday on the show. He labeled the impeachment inquiry as a desperate act by the Democrats. And then I asked him, this so-called whistleblower, how can somebody be a whistleblower when they do not have direct knowledge of what happened, because this guy got the information, second or third hand, and then leaked it basically to the media and to the Democrats. And even Cornyn said, I don't know how you could be considered a whistleblower. So, I mean, is the media off completely? I mean, even calling this guy a whistleblower, isn't that wrong?
I disagree with it. I think he's more of a gossip columnist than he is anything else.
He's a leaker.
There's no first-hand information in there. And how many times do we have to go down this path where they continue to get exposed when they told us for years that it was Russia and collusion, and I mean all of those things proven to be untrue. They told us about what these calls were going to entail. All of that has turned out to be untrue, and they are now scraping things together. And this whistleblower or so-called it's all second-hand, third-hand information about someone who told somebody who heard something about somebody else from someone else. It's just laughable.
Well, how confident is the campaign? How confident is the president right now with everything that's swirling around him?
So, this is a president who wakes up every day confident, and he knows that he's doing the work of the American people, and that they are benefiting from it. And so, whether it's jobs, manufacturing, we're finally starting to see some positive movement on maybe getting that replacement for the horrible NAFTA deal, if Democrats will do something about it, and we don't know that's true. This is a president who's winning, and America is winning again, and they're just trying to stop it.
There's got to be frustration, though, right? Like you said, you brought up the USMCA deal, and there are other issues that honestly could be getting worked on right now. And I'm sure that the president wants Congress to work on. And I would think that it would be very tough to work with House Democrats or with any of the Democrats when they're trying to impeach you. I would think that would be very tough, and it would be I would be ticked. If it were me, I would be ticked off. And also, I would look at this and go, there are so many other things that we can do on behalf of the American people. Is there frustration there?
Well, I think there's a frustration that they would rather investigate than legislate. And there are so many areas where we could work together. The USMCA would benefit farmers, ranchers, manufacturers, truck drivers. There's so many areas where this would have a great impact. But then again, you also see a lack of action on things that they've said they wanted to get done. They could work together with us on prescription drug prices. They could work together with us to do the things that we have said, like immigration, that needs to be reformed. But they don't want to do anything. And for so many Democrats who ran in and won in 2018 in districts that were previously carried by the president, they said they ran on a platform of working with this president. Now the only thing that they're being forced to do is impeach this president, and I think that's going to come back to bite them because they've got nothing else to point to say that they actually did anything.
Visiting with Marc Lauder here on the Chad Hasty Show. Before I let you go, we got to mention coming up October 17th in Dallas at the American Airlines Center, President Trump holding another big rally here in Texas. Tell us, for those who maybe they've seen the clips on TV, or maybe they've even seen the rallies on TV, what's it like to be there in person?
But the only thing I can compare it to is a rock concert.
Yeah.
I will tell you, and I've been obviously so many of them, that you have people that literally get out there and start camping out a day or two in advance to get those great seats, and you got to go online to get the tickets. But so many of these people are taking days off of work. They're camping out. They're standing in line. It's a giant party atmosphere, and I'll just tell you, when the president walks down that runway out into that arena, it's about as loud, probably about as loud as a Cowboys game. It's going to be it's huge. And there's so much excitement. It's so full of energy. I know it's going to be great when he gets down there in a week or two.
How many elected Texas officials are y'all expecting, or do y'all even have a count yet?
Oh, I think we're still building all those lists out. But I can tell you, generally speaking, we usually get about 4 times, even I've seen a couple times, 5 times the number of people requesting tickets for the event than we actually have room. So we've had to build outdoor areas where they can watch the rallies on jumbo screens and things like that. The amount of support that we see from this president is just is unbelievable, and it's as with everything down in Texas, it's going to be big in Texas.
Yeah. So your advice is get there early.
I would sign up for your tickets and plan on getting there early.
All right. Excellent. Marc Lauder, Director of Strategic Communications for the Trump 2020 campaign. Always a pleasure to have you on, and we'll talk to you next time.
Look forward to it, Chad.
Have a good one. That's Marc Lauder here on the Chad Hasty Show.